Who the hell are you?
Why, Admiral, I'm Hell's most favored offspring, scion of the Grand Renegade himself. I am Abdul Said bin Iblis al-Mashi al-Dajjal, harbinger of the last days.
Oh god, looks like we got ourselves a fruitcake.
You might be like, dang, this looks very familiar, but I don't think I've played this. Then it's probably because you're remembering the original Far Cry. However, Pirate Hunter, the game you are witnessing, was released in 2009. The original Far Cry was 2004. Even Far Cry Instinct, the console exclusive, was first released in 2005. I lead off with the Far Cry comparison because that is the best way to describe Pirate Hunter. If someone was like, hey, what's this game? I'm kind of interested in it. I'd simply respond, Far Cry if it was made by a low-budget Russian studio. There's almost no information online about the developers DioSoft Ltd., so knowing what even inspired this game's creation is a bit of a mystery. I mean, the only reason I'm assuming it's Russian is because of that ND logo that I'm very familiar with. Also, what is that cover? Is that Bear Grylls? What? Well, the least we can do is play it and see what DioSoft managed to pull off in their sole title. The story starts out pretty simple. Pirates hijack a cruise ship and an ex-Navy SEAL's girlfriend or wife or whatever was on board, so now he has to go after her. A buddy of this ex-SEAL tells him that a private military group called the Pilgrims chill in the Pacific, hunting down pirates, so he flies out there to meet them. He gets shot down, and this is where the game begins. The game runs completely fine, and there's actually not a whole lot of jank present. Never had a crash, never had a game-breaking bug. I did have an interesting glitch where I was able to get outside the map when I jumped on these rocks. I wasn't able to reproduce it, but this was kind of cool. I always love seeing glitch happen, but it wasn't game-breaking. I was able to get out of it. I need to mention that I am playing the Zoom platform version. Zoom is a DRM-free video game marketplace. I am a huge supporter of this store because there's no required client, and the fact they sell crazy obscure stuff like Dr. Radiaki. Oh, and they have the classic Duke titles, which tends to be the selling point for this website. Thank you, Zoom, for this review copy. But yeah, to my surprise, I played Pirate Hunter without so much as a single crash. And I say that because you see that ND logo I mentioned before, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. But nah, nothing. Now, as for the gameplay itself, well, you're seeing it. If you're familiar with budget shooters or slobjank, etc., then you know what to expect. It's just shooting everything that moves while making your way through desolate environments. In this case, jungles, and more jungles. I mean, to be fair, sometimes the interior of cargo ships. There are some interesting aspects to Pirate Hunter. For one, it highlights friend and foe from a distance, which, you know, is kind of nice considering that the enemies do blend in with the jungle. But I've just never seen something like this before in a game. Or if I have, I don't remember. It definitely took me by surprise. But there are moments where the game has you switch between characters from time to time. Like, for example, the main character ends up getting ambushed, and you have to jump off this ship, and you have no weapons. So then you switch to one of the other characters who's on a cliff with a sniper rifle, giving him cover to make sure he can survive. It's some really kind of cool stuff to see in a game like this. Just some, you know, a little bit of dynamic gameplay. Though in the back of my brain, it does tickle a little bit of Raven Squad memories, but thankfully this game's not that bad. But they both have similar looking environments. Pirate Hunter also does something I appreciate in shooters. Headshots or one-shot kills. This is the best thing Pirate Hunter does. You'd be surprised at how many games do not have this. It's great. You shoot them in the face, they're dead. It's mad satisfying. But probably the most surprising part are the levels. Now there's 20 of them, and I'm not gonna lie, some do feel like filler, but there are some great moments. There's side objectives to complete, and you may be thinking, why would I do that? Well, at the end of the game, you do get a score where you can see all the secrets you found, what kind of rank you got, and there's little upgrades to your loadout you get from here and there. Nothing crazy, like you may unlock like a grenade launcher and stuff like that, but sometimes it leads to a bonus mission, a hidden secret level, and they're always interesting. Like this one, for example, was like this island that was more beach than jungle, which, believe me, after seeing all the green, was a nice sight, but it also had Well, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, to be honest with you. But yeah, exploring around, you find cool little stuff like this ship underwater. And I'm kind of surprised you can swim in this. A lot of low-budget games, you just die if you just touch the water. Now, this is still a low-budget slop jank game, so the only thing you really find is adrenaline kits, which is this game's bullet time. You get so much of it, there's no reason not to use it, especially since your equipment doesn't carry over from mission to mission. Also, when exploring, I did find this Aperture Labs key card. It's missing the A, but it's there. You know, after seeing this Aperture key card, it reminds me that Metathrone recently got re-released, and it's also on Zoom. And I'm wondering if the whoever owns that IP now edited out the Final Fantasy posters. Here's an example of what I mean that I found on Google Images. You would find stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't approved. I need to see if the new re-released version has it or not. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, Pirate Hunter is good fun. Just shut the brain off and kill dudes. And try to stay awake during the cutscenes. This is my first complaint. The cutscenes start out good. Well, not for the reason I'm showing, but mainly due to the production value. There's different shots and scenes. It's all pretty good. But for the rest of the game, it's just talking.
Crazy man who actually got something right for once.
Yeah, he might be smarter than you think.
Perhaps. Or maybe he just got lucky this time. Still, it was a blessing for the sailors themselves.
Yeah, they all look pretty pleased with us.
Not as pleased as the ship's owners. They never even realized anything had happened until you'd finished the job. So far, it hasn't cost them a kopeck. We might be able to get a standard fee for your work, but that will barely cover the fuel bill.
I'm sorry. I must be making business hard for you.
Nah, Eddie, money isn't everything. We have a duty to protect the weak when they are threatened.
This is true. Only a madman would do this job for the money alone. All of us are driven by a desire to right wrongs.
And the story gets kind of weird. Like, the main pirate thinks he's like an incarnate of some like Islamic demon or something like that. And he wants the ex-Navy SEAL's girlfriend or whatever because she's a journalist, and he wants her to, like, you know, show the world what he's planning to do. That sounds intriguing, but it's just so boring listening to him talk.
And you had it right the first time, Moses. I'm just a mad old bastard who doesn't know what else to do with himself. Now then, I've been pent up here long enough. I'm spoiling for a fight. What's on the agenda for today?
Well, Moses has been looking at the documents we took from the group that attacked us. They call themselves Al-Marid by the...
And then the second complaint is obvious by now, but the environments are lacking. I mean, I swear it makes you appreciate games that take place in similar settings that are able to make things a little more dynamic. Like, you know, the original Far Cry. However, I know my audience. You guys like jank, so I can comfortably recommend this for sure. For the uninitiated, this could be a tiptoe into the genre before you dive headfirst into something like Vivisector. But yeah, links are in the description below to this game. It's pretty good. I recommend it. I had fun, and I'm glad I checked it out. I've actually never played this one before, and I'm always happy to come across some jank that I have not seen. So yeah, I'm definitely in the mood for a Saturn video because my lovely wife bought me a Japanese Saturn recently, and now that's just got me wanting to play some Saturn. So I don't know what I'm going to review. Could be an American game, could be a Japanese game, not sure. But that'll be the next video. And then I may have to tackle Metathrone after mentioning it, as that game's wild, and there's not a lot of videos out there on it. And it's a bit of an insane game. And I want to see if Final Fantasy posters are there. But until then, I'll see you in the next video of whatever that may